And Mike, as we were saying earlier today, the Florida Senate talking about a topic dominating both state and national conversation right now, sexual harassment. The Senate voting on some new measures to bring about awareness. What did they decide to do?
Yeah, Abby, the Senate Rules Committee this morning unveiled for the first time their response to what they've been dealing with for the last 2 months. And what they are saying is that they really haven't done a very good job of keeping up to date with policies that prohibit sexual harassment. So beginning after this legislative session, every senator will have to take at least a 1-hour course in sexual and workplace harassment. What does it mean? They will be able to take that in person or online, and then they will not be able to be sworn in without having taken that at least once a year. And we have 2 vacancies in the Senate right now. If special elections are called and they are held and new senators are elected, they'll also have to take this hour-long course before they can be seated in the Senate. So they're putting a pretty big hammer. Prove you took it, or you don't get to sit here and make laws. They're also going to allow senators to actually have one-on-one training in case they want to ask questions, and it could be, a number of situations if they're not sure what harassment is or they're too embarrassed to ask some questions in person, they'll have that one-on-one opportunity.
All right.
Mike, I've been keeping track since our afternoon meeting at 2:30 this afternoon. I've received 3 recorded sales calls on my phone. Abby, I know you were saying you've received quite a few too. Nobody likes these calls, robocalls, and the state receives thousands of complaints about them, nearly 20,000 last year alone. What are lawmakers trying to do to stop them, and will it actually work?
Well, that's the big question. Will it really work? Most of these telemarketers aren't in Florida, and it's very difficult to enforce Florida law in other states or other countries for that matter. But the legislature is moving forward with bills that will say, look, you can't phone spoof. In other words, you can't use a fake number that makes it like it's coming from my best friend with the same phone exchange, here in Tallahassee. You can't send an email or a voicemail right to my phone. And they're going to double the penalties for anyone who is making calls that they shouldn't be making to people on the do not call list. And they're also going to require that anyone who makes a call list a valid phone number to get rid of that spoofing idea. You'll have the opportunity to call that number back and say, don't do that again.
Okay.
And the big question is can they enforce it?
That spoofing is growing, so hopefully that will help with that. Okay, Mike, finally, we know Friday's typically a lighter day for the legislature. What are they going to tackle tomorrow?
Well, the House is going to come back. They took up a number of really controversial pieces of legislation today. Sanctuary cities, getting away with sports franchises, doing away with red light cameras. And that was the preliminary hearing. That's where they had amendments and debates. But all those will be back tomorrow. We had 100 people on the 4th floor of the Capitol today angry about the immigration bill. They may be back. The Senate today passed a major education bill. They were scheduled to come back, but they went ahead and passed that out and sent it to the House, and they're gone until next Wednesday. So we'll see a lighter day tomorrow, but for the next 55 days, I guess we've got in counting here, we're going to see a lot of activity.
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow, and you can update us. Thanks, Mike.
Well, state lawmakers making progress in their efforts to fight the opioid crisis. Democrats introducing 7 new pieces of legislation today. The bills include privacy protections for drug counselors, expanding Medicaid to cover addiction services, also creating new requirements for insurance companies to cover mental health services the same way they cover other illnesses. One representative saying he's confident the proposals have a chance to pass because both sides of the aisle want to find solutions.
I can almost assure you there's not a single legislator here, either in the Senate or in the House, who has not seen the effects of what these drugs are causing in our community. So for the 20.3 million Americans who are out there, I can tell you as I stand here with my colleagues who have proposed the bills that better days are here. Better days are coming. This is not a partisan issue.
Other bills filed today include warning labels on opioid prescriptions and a $10 court fee for drug-related cases to go towards helping rural counties fight the crisis. New at 5:30, search and rescue teams still searching for missing people in Southern California's deadly mudslides.
As Chris Martinez reports, so far 17 people are dead and at least 8 are still missing.
Crews are working to move mountains of mud from downtown Montecito, the small community hit hardest by the deadly storm and mudslides. Search and rescue teams are still combing through neighborhoods, checking damaged homes for any signs of life.
I have a few friends that they're missing their parents, brothers, stuff like that, and they don't know where they are.
Only about 9,000 people live in this part of Santa Barbara County. Montecito is home to many celebrities, including Oprah and Ellen DeGeneres, both of whom have expressed concern for the people affected in this community.
It's not just a wealthy community. It's filled with a lot of different types of people from all backgrounds. There are people who are missing family members. They're finding people and bodies. And
among those confirmed dead, Rebecca Riskin, a well-known area real estate agent, Roy Roeder, founder of a private Catholic school, Jim and Alice Mitchell, and Josie Gower.
A neighborhood this small, every single name that turns up is someone's dad, someone's cousin, someone's teacher. And that's got to be the worst part of it all, I think.
And in Los Angeles County, new video shows the intensity of the floods. This Prius was carried off when a nearby debris basin gave way. Much of Highway 101, the main road between Los Angeles and Santa Barbara, remains buried under several feet of dirt. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Montecito, California.
That's what's insane. The 101 is a highway, and it was just covered.
I was on the 101 a couple weeks ago when I was down there for the Christmas, and both sides of the road you could see affected by the fires. That's just a couple weeks ago, and now this, it's just, man, unbelievable too. And then in LA to see that car.
Just the power of it, Mike McCall. I think you don't realize mudslides and things like that have that much power.
Well, it's even worse because we know that 2 feet of water can float a car if it's moving. But then you add in all that debris, it just adds a lot of force. There's a lot of physics going on there, and sadly, that's the result. Those folks there just can't seem to catch a break. It's one extreme or the other, from the fires to these floods, and they are kind of interactive. The fires made this worse because the hillsides couldn't hold the hillside back. So hopefully things will get a little bit better. Well, they are getting better because they are going to be drier for at least the next several days. For us, we are looking at a, relatively speaking, a much calmer pattern, but our best chance of seeing some rain and a few thunderstorms is on the way. Today, another very warm day, for us at least, in the 60s, if not low 70s, and we've even had a few showers, especially the extreme eastern parts of our area, especially Clinch County, but elsewhere, we've had a few little hit and miss showers, but those will become more numerous as the cold front approaches tomorrow. Right now, it's a line of showers and storms way out to our west, moving through Texas and Louisiana, but it's approaching tomorrow, and with that, we'll get a bit of much needed rainfall. And if you missed the colder weather, good news. It's coming back, and it's going to get reinforced next week. I'll have the chilly numbers in a few minutes.
What is that?
I don't know. What does reinforced
right?
mean? Okay, that we're going to have to stick around for that one. All right, thanks, Mike. Okay, I don't know about your family or workplace, but right now it seems like a lot of people are sick, coughing, sneezing, you name it. That's because the dreaded flu virus rapidly spreading all across the country. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reporting the virus causing more deaths and hospitalizations.
As Dr. Tara Narula tells us, that's nearly 4 times as many compared to this time last year.
One in roughly 10,000 children under the age of 4 have been hospitalized with the flu this season. 8-month-old Kingston Smith is one of them, with his mother Sharika right by his bedside.
About 4 days ago, he started breathing hard, vomiting, having fever. So I drove here to the hospital and, said, yes, we need to keep him.
Of the more than 100 people who have died from the flu so far this season, 13 are children. Dr. Claire Bocchini is an infectious disease specialist at Texas Children's Hospital.
Unfortunately, it can cause a lot of complications. Children can get severely sick, actually need to be in the ICU.
Making the problem worse this season is the type of flu that's spreading, H3N2. This strain tends to hit younger and older people harder than others.
In years where there is H3N2, we do see that there are more deaths.
Why is there so much activity in the past few weeks?
Well, it's hard to say, but it's possible that a lot of folks got together during the winter holidays. And so with all those folks getting together, they're able to transmit flu and then take it and send it on to other folks. And so there's been a lot of that, a lot of cold air, a lot of cold this season. And so because of those things, we can see a lot of influenza that gets transmitted.
Flu vaccines have been less effective in fighting H3N2 than other influenza flu viruses, making this particular strain more difficult to contain. It is still too soon to say just how bad this flu season will be, but the CDC believes it could reach near epidemic levels. Dr. Tara Narula, CBS News, New York.
Wow, we reached out today to the health departments in both Florida and Georgia regarding the flu. In Georgia, they're seeing an increase of the virus and have one confirmed flu-related death.
Florida also saying it's seeing more flu activity in all age groups this year than in the past 2 flu seasons, with also 2 flu-related pediatric deaths so far this year. So wash your hands.
Do all that. Get the rest you need to. Your vitamin C is important.
Exactly.
Dr. Abby, Dr. Ben, I want to make sure you guys are okay.
Still to come at 5:30, no shoes, no shirt, no card, no service.
Imagine trying to pay for lunch with cash.
Okay.
And you're told it's not accepted.
What?
Right? That's what I said. Cashless businesses becoming all the rage. I have some of the reasons why when we come back.